We went over integers, strings, printing, and variables, and then we started going over lists. So today we will finish going through lists. So basically, the way to create a variable in Python or a list in Python or any kind of variable in Python is you put the name of the variable. So in this case, we'll say students, and then you assign the value of the variable. So like for example, for students, let's say I'm running another class and the names of my students are Max, Monica, Eric, and Frank. Right. So now we can print this file students, or print this variable students. Run one module.
Is there any way you can zoom in a little bit?
Yes, sorry. I'll do that just right now. So see, we are, let me zoom in first. So show. Is this better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no worries. So now what we did here is we assigned our variable called students, and then we gave the variable a value, a list of strings, right? So our first element is Max, second element is Monica, third element is Eric, and fourth element is Frank. So what I want you all to do is to create a list with the names of all the members of your families and your best friends. So for example, for me would be, I would do like family and friends equals my mom's name, which is Anupriya. My sister's name is Anushi. My dad's name is Jayesh. And then my best friend's name is David. So everyone create a similar list with all your family and friends and send it in the chats. So remember, since we are putting names, and names use letters, we would be using strings. So for Alan, you would just need to put the all of your names inside of quotes. But other than that, you did a great job. Nice job, Shiho. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Ankita. So yeah, nice job, Sasra.
What are you using to run this program?
We're using Python. So I can quickly, there's a website, python.org. If you go to this link here, python.org, I can put it in the chat as well.
Are you writing in Notepad?
No. So if you install python.org, have you installed Python, Harshini?
Yes.
Okay, so the application is called IDLE. So if you go to your search bar and just open IDLE, it should open for you. So try that and let me know if it works.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay,
It
yeah.
will only work after you install the Python.
Yeah, it only works if you install Python. Otherwise, this application won't be there. So if you haven't installed Python, go to this website and then go to downloads. So if you're on Windows, just click this, and then if you're on Mac, click this. Any other questions? All right. So yeah, so that's basically how we create a list. So you just say the name of your list, and then you open bracket, and then you put all of your elements in a list. So now, like, let's say like we want to know the fourth element of this list, right? Frank. So what we would do is we would say students. Let's say we want to print the fourth element of the list. We would go print students and then open bracket 4, or in this case it'd be 3. So we want the first element of the list. We want the first person in the class, we want to see what their name is. So to do that, we would go print students 0. And then if we run it, it says Max. So does anyone know why, if we want to print the first name, we have to go 0 instead of 1?
Because from computer programming, like instead of like one for Max, it should be 0 for stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically what Abhiram said is, in computer programming, whenever we are listing things or we have a bunch of different items next to each other, it always starts counting with 0. So Max is 0, Monica is 1, Eric is 2, and Frank is 3. Does that make sense? So everyone in the chat, write the code to print out the second person on your list and send it to me. Yeah, nice job, guys. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Chiho. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Alan. Harshini, you just need to remove the space between students and 1. So it's students and then the open bracket directly.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice job, Chan. So yeah, so that's basically how you access an element of the list, right? So like, for example, if I wanted Eric, this is the third element of the list, 1, 2, 3. But since I start counting at 0, I would go 0, 1, 2. So that the index of Eric is 2. And then if I print this out, we'll see Eric. So are there any questions on that? All right. Yeah. So nice job, guys. It looks like you all got it. So now let's talk about like how, like, let's say Eric doesn't like how his name is spelled E-R-I-K and wants everyone to call him E-R-I-C instead of E-R-I-K. So what we can do to change that is we can say, so we would access the element, right? Students, and then Eric is the second element. So we go students 2 equals, and then ERIC, right? And then now if we print students before and after, so we print students in the first version and then we print it after the change. We can see in the first time it's Eric, and then the second time it's Eric with a C. Does that make sense? So everyone try changing the names of one of the people in your list. And then put it in the chat.
Can you please repeat the question?
So everyone change the name of one of the people in your list. So for example, we changed the name of Eric with a K to Eric with a C. Everyone change the name of one of the people in your list. Nice job, Chiho. Nice job, Alan. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Aryan. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Chan. So Harshini, you just forgot to put the name. Forgot to put like what you want to change it to. So you accessed the item properly. You just forgot to put what you want to assign it to. Other than that, good job, everyone.
Oh yeah, okay, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, nice job. So like let's say we have our students, right? Now let's say we want to like give them their grades, right? So like for example, grades equals we'll say Max has a 95, Monica has 82, Eric has 67, and then Frank has a 72. So like let's say we want to, in a sentence, we want to like email all of our students, right? So and we want to just we at the same time we want to find Max's grade and write their email. So like let's say if I want to send Max a message, I would say print like hey plus students, and then we want the first element plus your grade is, and then string grades 95 or grade 0. So do you see what we did here? We accessed Max's name. So Max is a 0th element. The first thing in the list, so the element is 0. And then we said your grade is, and then since we want Max's grade, right? And he's the first element, so the index is 0. So we opened his grade. And then since this is a number, we have to convert it to a string. Right? So now if we run this, okay. 1 second. Let me see why it's not working.
Don't we have to add a plus in between hey and students?
Oh wait, you're right. So we have to put the plus sign here. Thank you, Harshini. So yeah, so hey Max, your grade is 95. So now everyone using the same list of names that you had earlier, create another list with all of their ages and write a sentence for the first one with someone's age and type it in the chat. So for example, we did it with grades. Like we created a list for all the names and then a list for all the grades. You're going to do the same thing, but instead of grades, you'll do it with age. And then Anu, write a sentence using someone's name and then their age. Using the accessing the element of the age list. Nice job, Chiho. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Alan. Oh, Alan, you forgot to put a close parentheses at the end of your print statement. And then make sure you use commas in between everything in the list for your age list. Nice job, Harshini. So yeah, nice job, everyone. So basically, what we just to review, we access the first element of the list. Then we concatenated this string, and we access the first element of the grades list. But since this element right here is an integer, we have to convert it back to a string. So that, because we can't add a string and an integer. So are there any questions on that? Okay, let's check guys. So we'll go over a few more list methods. So the first one is len. And like, for example, let's say we want to see how many students we have in the class, right? So then we could go print, or we'll go number of students equals len students, and then we'll print len. We'll print len, or sorry, we'll print number of students. So if we run this, we can see we have 4 students, right? Our students are Max, Monica, Eric, and Frank. And running this len function just counts the number of people in the list. So everyone run the len function on your list, and then just type in chat how many people in your list. Type the output of your program. So write the code and then tell me the output. Do both. Nice job, Alan. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Harshini. So yeah, basically, whenever we want to count the number of students we have, we just use this len thing. And then this len function, it also works for strings, right? So like, let's say, like my name is Akansh. So if I want to see how many letters are in my name, I could say number, or we could even go directly to go print len name. And if we run this, we can see that Akansh has 6 letters. So are there any questions on that? Yeah, nice job, Aryan. So we'll go the next function, like let's say we want to add something to this list. right? Like let's say a new student has joined the class and we want to add them to the list. The way we could do that is we would do students.append. So like we're taking the name of the list that we want to add to and then saying dot append and then what we want to add. So like let's say our new student is Jack. Right. So now we'll print students before and after. So print students. So we can see first we have Max, Monica, Eric, and Frank. And then afterwards we have Max, Monica, Eric, Frank. And then using the append function, we added Jack. So everyone add one person to your list using the append function and type in the chat. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Harshini.
Thank you.
Nice job, Shiho. Nice job, Alan. Yeah, good work, guys. So whenever we want to add something to the end of our list, we just use this dot append function. So the name of our list, dot append, and then what we want to add. Nice job, Aryan. Yeah, so now that's like the basics of lists, right? The two main functions we have in lists are len and append. So yeah, I'll give you guys a quick quiz now. So here's our quiz. So in the chat, just privately send me a message or answer for the first 3 questions. Nice job, Alan. Nice job, Ankita. Just try to send all 3 answers in the same message, please. Aryan, you're close for number 1. Take a look again. Nice job, Chiho. Nice job, Chan. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Arpiram. So yeah, so the answer for number 1 is B. The answer for number 2 is C. And then the answer for number 3 is D. So does anyone want to explain why B is correct out loud?
Because
Open the square bracket.
Yeah, that's correct. So there's 2 things that are correct about B that are wrong about the other ones, right? So for example, A, it has a curly bracket, so that's not going to work. C has a square bracket, which is correct, but has a semicolon instead of a comma. And then D has parentheses instead of the square bracket. So that's why D won't work. And since B is the only one that doesn't have anything wrong, B uses a square bracket and it uses the comma. B is correct. Are there any questions? So the main distinction here is the type of bracket and then the comma. That's how you define a list. Okay, and then for C, does anyone want to explain why C is correct? Abhiram, go ahead.
Okay, so in number C, it's correct because it's using you see the number 2 here? Number 2 is actually the Ivana, not Donald, because in computer programming languages, 0 is the first number and not 1.
Yes, that's correct. So Abhiram basically explained that in computer programming, we always start with 0. So Ivanka is 0, Donald is 1, and Ivana is 2. And since Ivana is the third element of the list, it has the second element in the list, which is why in order to access the third element, we have to say first names and then 2. Sahasra, do you have a question?
No, I just want to do the next one.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Why is D correct?
Because like if you to extend the list, you must do words.append, and if you whatever one you want to append, you put it in, and yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. So the function to append or to add anything to a list is .append, and then inside the parentheses you put whatever you want to add. So for example, the one that like for example, A and C, these functions don't even exist. But the reason B doesn't work is because we can show you. So we have wars is 1, 2. So if we try to do this and then you print wars, it gives us an error. And it's 1 second. Okay, so it gives us an error saying that the index is out of range, right? And the reason for this is like it's because the third index doesn't even exist, right? So because of that, like we're trying to assign 3 to something that doesn't exist, and that's why B doesn't work for number 3. Does that make sense? All right, any questions before we move on? All right.
Please.
So one way we can apply these two functions are the way we can apply these two functions is like averaging. So like let's say we want to add a new student to the class, right? So students dot append we choose Jack, and then we want to give Jack his grade. So grades dot append, let's say Jack is a model student and his grade is 100. Right now, let's say me as a teacher, I want to take the average of all of these, my students' grades, right? So the way I could, or actually, how about this? All of you guys using the len function, try to write code that will calculate the average of all the students in the class. Average grade. So Chan, what exactly is grades? Like how would we add up all the grades of the class?
You need to loop over the length.
So we aren't gonna use loops yet. That's how we would do it the best way. But what we want to do here is we want to just individually access each element. So try doing it using that method first. I'll give you guys a few minutes and then we'll move on. Yeah, it's a good start, Harshini.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just explain how we would do this. So whenever we're taking the average of something, the first thing we have to do is to add up everything in the list, right? So the way we would do that is we would say sum of grades equals grades 0 plus grades 1 plus grades 2 plus grades 3. And then since we added Jack, we have a fifth element. So you do grades 4. So this would be the sum of everyone in the sum of all the grades. And then we need to see how many elements we have in the list. So the way we would do that is number is len grades. And then to calculate the average, you go average equals sum of grades divided by number. And then if we print the average, actually we'll print all three. So we'll print sum of grades, we'll print number, and we print average. So you can see the sum of the grades is 406, right? So 95 plus 82 plus 57 plus 72 plus 100 is 406. And then the number of grades we have is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we added Jack. So we have 5 grades. And the average, or the 406 divided by 5 is 81.2. So everyone create a list. So using like the list of family and friends you had earlier, create a list of all their ages and write the code to find the average of all of their ages. So I'll give you guys a minute or two and we will continue. Just try to replicate this code with instead of using grades, using the list of ages for all your family and friends. Nice job, Ankita. Yeah, that looks good. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Harshini.
Thank you.
Nice job, Abhiram. Yeah, nice job, everyone. Everyone that got it. Actually, Harshini, you've put 2 division signs on accident. But other than that, nice job.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the way, just to review, you add up everything, accessing by the element. So if we have 5 elements, we would go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to get the number of elements, like obviously we know that it's 5, but in code to get the number of elements, we'd use len grades, and then we divide the sum by the number of grades, and we get the average. So are there any questions? All right. Yeah, nice job, Aryan. So now we will go through one more. We'll go through one more list method, and it's called pop. 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 So what pop does is it removes the last element. So like, let's say, Jack has moved away, and we want to remove him from the list, right? So now what we would do is we would do, I believe, yeah, we would do students dot pop, and then we could, if we printed students and run it, we would see that Jack is gone. So we'll print it before as well. To see, before we pop, Jack is here, and after we pop, Jack is not there. So everyone, just pop one person from your list of family and friends, and send the message in chat. Nice job, Ankita. So actually, you don't have to, in the parentheses, you don't have to put anything, right? It just, no matter what, it pops the last element. But other than that, nice job. Yeah, no matter what's the last element. I think there's other functions in Python that lets you pick which one you want to remove, but we aren't going to be going over that today. Nice job, Harshini.
Thanks.
Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Aryan. So yeah, you guys get the point. So whenever we want to remove an element from a list, we put the name of the list, then we put dot pop, and it just removes the last element. So actually, one interesting thing we can do is, like, let's say we want to send Jack a message, right? And then we want to get his name. So what we can do is we can say name equals students.pop. And then we can go, if we print name, it will return, we just see what it does. It will return Jack. So now everyone pop the last person off your list like you did before, but also print out their name. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Anu. Nice job, Abhiram. And if you have any questions, please send me a message in the chat or speak out. Nice job, Sahasra. Nice job, Aryan. Yeah, nice job, Abhiram. That's right. So, like, what Abhiram did is he included this name in a sentence. So, like, let's say I wanted to wish Jack goodbye. So we can say, just Jack, you have been an excellent student. Good luck in your future. Then we print this out. We can see we have Jack, and then Jack, you've been an excellent student. Good luck in your future. And then unfortunately, Jack isn't on our list of students anymore. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay. Yeah, nice job, guys. So we will now 10 minutes left. Okay, we'll go through data conversion now. So basically we've gone through 3 main data types so far. So these are integers, strings, and lists. So everyone in the chat, just provide like a description for what each one of these are and send it to me privately, please. So Tell me what integers are, tell me what strings are, and tell me what lists are. Yeah, nice job, Harshini. Nice job, Abhiram. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Sahasra. So yeah, so most of you guys got the general idea. So integers are any whole numbers. Whole numbers. So these can be negative or positive. So like we could have negative 200, like negative 200. We could have 50, we could have 3, we could have 0. But we cannot have decimals, right? So we can't have 1.2, we can't have 5.6, we can't have anything like that. So anything that doesn't have a decimal is an integer. And then strings is just anything inside of quotes, right? So even if like we leave this string empty, we just put a space, this is a string. But if we put 5 inside, this is a string. And if we put like a whole sentence, this is also a string. So you can basically put anything inside of a string. But whenever, basically the point is whenever you're putting like letters or spaces or symbols, you have to put them in quotes. And that's what makes it a string. And then lists are also just like let's say like we use students as an example, right? It's just you use a list when you want to combine a bunch of things that have something in common. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Sahasra is asking, do characters in quotes also count as strings? So like, do you mean like if we just put A in quotes, Sahasra?
No, like commas and just periods.
Oh
Do
yeah, so
those
commas,
count? Yeah.
periods, anything. So anything you put, any symbol you put inside of a inside of quotes will become a string. Anything inside of quotes is a string. That's basically the rule. Does that make sense, Sahasra?
Yeah.
Okay. So then like for lists, it's just combinations of anything, right? Like we can even have lists of lists, right? Like let's say like our first list in the list is 1 and 2, and then our second is 3 and 4, right? If like this, you can put anything inside of a list. You can even put variables inside of a list. So that's what these 3 data types are. And then there's one more called floats. And floats is basically decimals. So like 1.2 is a float. 3.0 or like 3.6 is a float. Negative 20.8 is a float. But also 1.0 is a float. Does that make sense? So integers is like only whole numbers, but floats can be any number. So everyone just like create a variable with a float, any float, and put it in the chat. Nice job, Sahasra. Nice job, Chan. So Abiram, you can't put 2 decimals. You can only put 1 decimal. So like you could have 9.6 or 6.9, but you can't have 9.6.9. Yeah. Nice job, Aryan. Nice job, Harshini. So Ankita, that's a good job. So you created a list of floats. Yeah, nice job again, Abiram. So basically, integers are whole numbers, strings are anything inside of quotes, lists are anything inside of brackets, and floats are anything with a decimal. So yeah. So like let's say, oftentimes, like when later on when you're working with Python, you'll be working with some form of data, right? So like for example, for me, when I was doing my research, I had a bunch of different numbers and a bunch of different names, but I wanted the numbers to be like strings, and I wanted the names to also be like strings. So the way, like I had to convert from integers to strings. Like let's say we have the number like 5, right? And then we want to write a sentence with 5. Yeah, Sahasra. Floats and floating point is the same thing. So people just call it floats as like the short form. So like if we want to turn this integer into a string, what we would do is number string is str5. Right. So like one good example of like let's say we have a variable a, and inside of a we have a string containing 5, and inside the variable b we have a string containing 6.
Are the student waiting to be admitted?
Okay, sorry about that. So like let's say we want to add a and b. Well, 5 plus 6 is 11, right? So if we try to print a plus b, and we run this. Oops. It's giving 56, right? Because it's trying to concatenate these two strings, 5 and 6. But what we want to do is convert both of these back to integers, right? So similarly, how we can convert integers to strings using the phrase str, we can convert strings back to integers using int. So everyone create a number, a variable with a string, and convert it to an integer. And convert it to an integer and send me the code in the chat. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Anu. So I see a few people like going like this, like they're saying like their first variable is an integer, the second variable is an integer, and then they're also trying to convert it inside of their print statement. So you would only use this int function if these two things are strings. So for the people that created their variables as integers, try again and do it with strings. Nice job, Abiram. Nice job, Sahasra. Yeah, so we'll go through a few more data type conversions. So we have string to integer, integer to string. Oh, actually, let's go through commenting. So one useful skill in Python is putting comments in your code, right? So eventually you're going to write some code, but at another time, someone else is going to use it. And if, like, let's say the code breaks, it's not working as it's supposed to. If you don't put comments in your code to help them understand what you are doing in your code, like no one's going to be able to understand your code. So the way to put a comment in Python is by putting a hashtag. So like we put hashtag defining our variables A and B, and then converting A and B to strings, adding them and printing them. So now everyone, the same code that you sent me to add up your two strings, just put comments in it and then send it back. Nice job, Ankita. Nice job, Harshini. So Abiram, when you put code under a comment, this code doesn't execute. Nice job, Abiram. Nice job, Chen. So yeah, that's basically how you do comments. You just put a hashtag. So looks like time is up for today. I'll upload the recording for today to the YouTube channel. Let me check when our next class is. Okay, our next class is on Tuesday. From 7 p.m. So yeah, our next class is Tuesday, December 20th, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And then if you're in India, it'll be Wednesday, December 21st at 8:30 a.m. So if there aren't any questions, we will conclude for today. All right, nice job, everyone. And if you missed last class, please watch the recording for today and yesterday before Tuesday. All right, good job, everyone. Have a good night.